crimes. But you don't have to share your identity to share a tip. You can lean on the Crime Line.
Confidentiality is the bedrock of everything that we do at Crime Line.
Crime Line is a nonprofit run by citizens that collects anonymous tips. If those tips help police, you can get reward money.
Crime Line is not a government-sponsored entity.
It's a partnership. Citizens run the board, businesses fund the tips, law enforcement investigates, and local journalists share the story. In fact, I serve on the Crime Line. First, it started with a call. And Charlie Cohen answered.
I got a phone call from what was supposed to be a sheriff department saying there was a warrant for my arrest for missing jury duty in court.
He says he was in the process of opening a new business. It was a really busy time, and the caller convinced him that he had missed jury duty.
They kept me on the phone, wouldn't let me get off the phone at all.
For 35 minutes, they had Cohen convinced there was a warrant for his arrest and a sheriff's deputy was coming to get him.
None of this makes sense now, but when you're on the phone, caught up in the moment, it was a nervous situation.
Luckily, he hung up and called the sheriff's office to confirm what he was told over the phone.
If you're looking to get out of the house this week, there's a lot going on in Hampton Roads. I'm Jen Lewis with 3 things you can do. Right now, the Loch Ness Monster roller coaster opens back up to the public at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. The ride was closed in November for improvements. The reno includes 900 feet of replaced tracks with new themes.
We gave him a News 3 Everyday Hero Award and a $300 gift certificate from our partners at Southern Bank.
I'm going to donate it to a charity.
That's awesome.
I'm going to donate it to Huntington's.
Oh my gosh, that makes me emotional. That's really cool.
When you
Oh my
send
gosh,
me the link.
thank you. So I just shared with Steve earlier that I'm running the New York City Marathon in November in support of my mom who has a neurological disease. And so that's so cool. Steve once again giving back now to the Huntington's Disease Society of America. From one marathoner to another, his gesture brought me to tears.
I'm blessed. I've got everything I need. I'd rather give it to something that's going to make a difference.
And for every family with Huntington's, it will. I'm Erin Miller, News 3. I'm Erin Miller at Norfolk International Airport, and if you're planning on traveling this summer, I'll tell you how prices compare to last year and what you can do to make your trip a whole lot easier. Travelers Dylan and Grace had an early morning flying from Connecticut into Norfolk International Airport.
It was a little bit of a line and a wait for when we were waiting to check in and everything, but everything went well.
They're among the millions of people traveling ahead of the 4th of July.
Limited stress this time, definitely.
While their trip is off to a good start, Professor Mahmood Khan with Virginia Tech's Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management says you should be prepared for longer lines and higher prices.
In general, there is an increase in almost all travel expenses.
In fact, NerdWallet reports that nearly half of Americans plan to fly or stay in a hotel this summer, and they'll spend close to $3,600.
The demographics are changing with more younger population traveling more.
When it comes to flying, Norfolk International looked at the number of seats scheduled to fly into the airport this year compared to last. They tell me June travel was up close to 6.5%, and July is predicted to be up about 5%. Also new are protections for passengers whose flights are canceled or significantly changed. Airlines are now required to compensate people and cover expenses. Emily Barker with Warwick Travel Service says that's something they can monitor for you.
We will, keep pushing through until we get that refund for them if it's something that's due to them, where they don't have to deal with it themselves.
Barker tells me their bookings have been steady with cruises and tours.
We do have some people who are still calling and booking for this year. We have people who are booking out for 25 and 26.
But the earlier you act, likely the better deal you'll find. In Norfolk, Erin Miller, News 3.